So I think one thing is evidently clear this offseason for the 49ers, and then that is it is probably in the 4 years of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's the most important offseason they've had so far. The honeymoon phase is over. The excuses are no longer accepted, and changes, wholesale changes, philosophical changes, just changes in general need to happen this offseason on many fronts. You could start with the injury issue. They've got to figure out a way to figure that out. That's got to be taken care of as much as they have under their control. But that's one of the biggest issues we've had in their 4 years is just the lack of health throughout the team every year. Many players on IR, in upwards of 16 to 20 players every year. It's out of control. You look at making roster decisions on certain players and moving on from certain players. You think of players like Solomon Thomas, owning the fact that you missed on him and doing what you got to do to move on from that guy. For where you drafted him and for the production that you've gotten, it wasn't worth it. You missed, accept it, move on. You look at the Dee Ford situation, a bad signing. It backfired on you. Yes, he was great when he was on the field, but the fact of the matter is he's never on the field. So that's a situation you got to deal with and, take on head first. You got Kyle Juszczyk's situation coming up. You got to figure out what you want to do with him. Is he worth the money that you're paying him? The Trent Williams situation is, staring you right in the face. What are you going to do with Trent Williams? You gave up a draft pick for him last year, so it would look really bad if you didn't re-sign him. And then, of course, the biggest issue is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and making the tough decisions. This is a big offseason. There's quarterbacks, whether we all agree or disagree, that are there to be had, but they're going to come at a high price. And many times in the past, we hear John Lynch say, we did our due diligence. We did what we thought was best for the organization. We decided not to, we decided to stay pat at where we were. And that's a mistake because we did the exact same thing last offseason, thinking we could just run it back with the same exact crew. And the fact is that crew didn't win. So to think you could just run it back with the exact same guys, it's a foolish way to think because that crew didn't finish. They didn't get it done. So, like I said, every option should be on the table for quarterback. A lot of people are okay with Jimmy G and mediocrity and saying that he wins all his games, but the fact of the matter is that in the biggest game he didn't perform. In the playoffs leading up to the Super Bowl, he was a non-factor. So, and he's not Kyle Shanahan's guy. Yes, he's great looking and all that, and he's a team-first guy and all that, but the fact of the matter is it's a win-or-go-home situation every year, and, if the Niners think they can get something better, they need to pounce. Figure out what is better, figure out what you want to do, and then go for it. And I think the Niners, like I said, this is a big offseason. I think heads are going to roll next year. If we're in the exact same place we are next year as we were this year, the quarterback room has to change. If you stay pat with the same three guys, you're just looking to be fired. Garoppolo, C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, it's just not getting it done. The best of the three is Garoppolo, yes, but just that quarterback room is it's proven over the last 4 years that it's not good enough. So it's time to make the hard choices and hard decisions. It's time to move on from guys that don't perform. They figured it out with Dante Pettis, maybe a little too late, but they got to figure it out. The whole Weston Richburg situation, he hasn't been healthy since they got him. They got to make a move on that. They have a lot of hard decisions. They have the Fred Warner deal coming up, possibly this offseason, if not into next season. They have to figure out what they're going to do with that. So, with the draft and free agency coming up soon, the Niners have a lot of tough decisions, and they got to figure it out. They have to make the right choices. They have to part ways with guys that don't perform and that don't see their way onto the field because of injury, and, cut your losses where they are, and maybe change your drafting philosophy and not drafting so many guys that have prior injury histories. I mean, everything has to be on the table. Everything has to be taken into account, and every avenue has to be searched, and you can't leave any stone unturned. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. This is just my opinion. Nothing but my opinion. If anybody has any other thoughts or any other ideas, leave your comments down below. Drop a like and subscribe if you like what you hear. And as always, I will see you guys on the flip side. See ya.